Hi, I'm Angie. I want to welcome you to National Indoor RV Centers, where we specialize in the sales, storage, service, and detailing of only high-end new and used coaches. So basically, we do it all. Hi, I'm Angie with National Indoor RV Centers, and today I'm thrilled to show you the 2020 Entegra Anthem. This is a great coach, and I can't wait to show you some of the wonderful features they've added for the model year 2020. I love the way that Entegra backlights its name. I really like that they're proud of who makes this coach, and you can see it coming and going. Now, we also put Diamond Shield. That comes standard on the Anthem. That's going to protect your beautiful paint job. They use Sikkens paint, and the exterior on this coach is the Waltz paint. Just above the windshield, you'll see our first of 4 cameras, which will contribute to the 360 camera bird's eye view that we have for the 2020 Anthem. It's a game changer, folks. You're going to love it. Entegra has improved the lights in the sea lighting. My customers like to refer to as the show-off lights. Then we have our chrome exterior mirrors, and those are internally controlled and heated. You're also going to get the indicator for the blind spot monitor in those mirrors, and we've got our little marker light here as well. So we have our marker lights. Entegra has added a blinking light to that when you put on your turn signal this year. Our blind spot monitoring sensor, the first for the passenger side. And then you're probably wondering how you can get into this coach. Well, obviously you can use your key, you can use your key fob. You also have a keyless pad here, so you can set your own unique code. I really like that. If I need to let a service technician in and I'm not home, or grandkids or friends want to come over when I'm not there, they beat me to the coach, I can go ahead and let them in. So that's really nice. Now on the key fob, there's a couple things. Entegra adds some security features. So when I hit the unlock button, my porch light comes on. So that just gives me light as I walk up to the coach, which is nice and safe. Another thing, if I want a little bit more lighting, I can hit the docking lights. So that's these lights right here. They will come on. Now the porch light's going to go off. It will cycle off in about 30-40 seconds. The docking lights are going to stay on, so we're going to make sure that we turn those off from the fob. Another good idea, you're going to get 2 of these fobs. I think it's a great idea to keep one by the bedside. That way, if you're laying in bed, you hear some funny noises outside and you want to check it out, you can go ahead and hit your docking lights on, and then you'll have the whole coach, or the borders of the coach illuminated, and you can see what's going on outside. One of the new features they've added for 2020 that I just love is this chrome handle. So I just think it looks so pretty, high class, looks nice. I've had a lot of my customers from other manufacturers that have actually changed out their handle. So I love that Entegra is forward thinking, changed this in the Aspire, Anthem, and the Cornerstone. So it's really easy when I'm out on the lot. Is this a 2020 or 2019? All I have to do is look for that chrome handle and I know. Now we also have our docking light here, and they've moved the fuel fill up, so it's a little bit higher for our 150-gallon fuel tank on the Anthem. Another new feature that we have this year, Entegra is keeping up with the competition, and the Cornerstone, they've gone to the 365 tire. So that's really nice. Again, the tire didn't get taller, it got wider. So we have more tread. That's gonna give us a better, smoother ride as we're going down the road. We also have the aluminum Alcoa wheels, so you don't have to polish those anymore. It's a great feature. Entegra made this a 20,000-pound front axle. That's huge. Last year it was 17,000 pounds, so they've given us 3,000 extra pounds of carrying capacity weight. Notice the flush slides that Entegra gives us. This contributes to the quietest riding, best handling coach on the market today, period, because there's nothing hanging over the side that could possibly cause wind noise. We also have the dual pane frameless windows all the way around the coach. All right, behind our first door number 1, we have our Dometic freezer. 2020, this is another standard feature. Entegra packs so much in standard, it's just great. So you just pull this here, your freezer comes out. Look how far it comes out, so that if my slide room's out, I'm still gonna be able to get into my freezer. Now, this can be a freezer or a refrigerator. If you're going to tailgate with your friends, you just want this to be a drink cooler. Right now we're just storing water in here. You can set the temperature, but if you need it to be a deep freeze, you want to take ice cream across the country. You know, in Texas, we're famous for our Bluebell ice cream. Kids want it that live in Pennsylvania, we can take them some. This is where we store the remote for the Girard awnings. I grew out the remote control for the Girard awnings, so you can take these out individually, 1 or 2, or if you go to 00, then you just hit out, and they're going to come out together. The Girard awnings come standard with the LED lighting at the bottom of the awning. It's really nice in the campground. You also have lights underneath your slide out. So between the lights underneath your slide out and the LED lighting on your awning, you have a really nice lighted atmosphere in the evenings. I wanted to tell you one more thing about the Girard awnings. Now, if a strong wind comes up, they do have a shake sensor and they'll retract. Now, I would never recommend leaving my coach with the awnings out. You always want to be here. But if you happen to forget to do it, or if you're inside, the wind comes up and gives them a good shake, they're going to retract. I wanted to also demonstrate how easy it is to do your window awnings. They're Girard awnings as well. So you just hook that little strap there, pull it down, and connect it. So now you've got a 3-point connection, so these can be up during the wind. You don't have to worry about it. You'll still have shade inside your coach. Now, while we're looking up here, I want you to notice the security light. The security light with the round dot means that it has a motion sensor on it. So if you keep that on and someone walks up to your coach at night, the light's gonna come on. And then right next to it here, this is the vent for your microwave, and it has a little catch on it. If you're using your microwave and it's not venting out, you may just have to come out here and release the catch. Now that I've got my awnings out, why don't we fire up the TV? So we have the Samsung TV with the Bose soundbar. And what I love about this TV is that it comes out, tilts, turns, and you can tilt it down. So if there's a glare from the sun, you can avoid that. Our satellite dish to satellite receiver. We have 2 110 outlets. This is our second of our 4 cameras. And you might notice all the pollen on the coach. Did I mention that it's springtime in Georgia? Here's our pass-through tray. So this is gonna pass through on the passenger side and the driver's side. Look how far that extends. So it makes it really easy to get our items that we have in storage. Note that this is carpeted just like they do in the automotive industry. Here we have another big storage area. This is a pass-through area without the tray. This is kind of nice. Sometimes my customers will like to have one pass-through tray and then one without, because it does give you a little extra height not having the tray in there, and you can pass through items here. You can also see that we've got some extra tiles from Entegra. In case we ever have a cracked tile, we can replace it. And we also have our toolkit for our central vac. So this is a very important compartment here. We still have access to some of our storage. We also have our cutoffs for our inverter 1, our inverter 2, our leveling jacks, house power, battery link, and our gen and fender compartment. So if we're not lucky enough to have you as one of our storage customers at National Indoor RV Centers, and you need to store your coach where you're not plugged into 50 amp service like all of our coaches are, then you want to make sure you disconnect all of these batteries so that you don't have any parasitic draw. Now the Anthem comes with 4 L16 AGM batteries. So you really don't have to mess with them. That's a great thing about them. They are a little expensive to replace, but I've got the answer for that. You just need to buy a coach every 4 to 5 years and we'll include the new batteries. Here's our Dirt Devil central vac connection. Now the nice thing about this, not only can you vacuum out your storage area, but you can pull your car up alongside the coach and vacuum it as well. And then we've got our 110 outlet here. All right, down in the storage area near the battery compartment, we have our solar panel controller, breaker box. This is our slide module. So if for some reason we're not able to get the slides to come in, you can get a paper clip, straighten it out, and then insert it into those small holes to bring your slides back in. We also have this splitter for our Winegard traveler's satellite. And here we have the furnace. So I didn't mention before, but the basement is heated, and you can monitor that heat from your Vega touchpad inside the coach. Here's one of our inverters. The other one is just behind this one. Basically, they're set up in between the chassis rails so that you can't pack too much stuff around them, because I know that some of us have a problem with over stuff in our coach and our baggage area, and we might overheat them, so they put them up so they're out of the way. We don't have to worry about them. Entegra adds X bracing to the Spartan chassis, so you're not going to have any twisting or torquing of the house. It's going to make the suspension absorb the shock of the road, not the house. Here is your 100-gallon fresh water tank. I like the little window here so I can see how much water I have. You can also check the monitor in your wet bay, and it will let you know what the reading is there, and on your Vega touch screen. Now, this is where a gravity fill for your fresh water tank. You're probably wondering why you would ever gravity fill it. Well, if you're dry camping, you're not hooked up to city water, then you can get some portable, like 5-gallon water jugs, and you can fill it here. This is also where you would add chemicals, say chlorine or other chemicals, if you wanted to sanitize your freshwater tank. The Anthem also comes with a 65-gallon gray tank and 45-gallon black tank. Another marker light and docking light, blind spot monitoring sensor. Again, this is going to get everything forward and right out front. And then we've got another one right here, our third one for the passenger side. It's going to get everything forward and out back. And then we've got our DEF tank. This is a 15-gallon DEF tank. DEF is diesel exhaust fluid. It's made up of 1/3 urea and 2/3 deionized water. Don't try to mix your own. You can buy it. Just remember, it has a shelf life of between six months to a year. Depends on where it is. It doesn't like sunlight either, so keep it in the shade or in the dark. But if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's 104 degrees, your DEF probably isn't going to have as long of a shelf life as if you're in a colder temperature. So make sure you check that, because it will throw some engine codes if it goes bad. In the event of emergency, and you're having a problem with the valid air leveling system, right here above the DEF tank, you can manually fill the airbags for the coach. Here we have our chassis batteries and our chassis battery disconnects. So again, if you're not storing where you're plugged into 50 amp service like you are when you store with National Indoor RV Centers, you want to make sure that you turn those off so that you don't have any parasitic drain on your batteries. This is the power distribution center for the back half of the chassis. I like to call it the fuse panel. This is our air dryer. So this is occasionally going to make that big scary sound that scares you to death, but Entegra Coach has added a little muffler to it. These are our filters and our fuel filter, our primary and our secondary. Now, to keep water out of those, you want to make sure you always fill your fuel tank before you put your coach into storage, so that you don't get any condensation that would cause you to have to change those out more often. And then, of course, my favorite button, the engine door lift. Just push the button and up it goes. The Anthem sits on the Spartan K2 chassis, and it has a 450 horsepower Cummins ISL 8.9 liter engine. Here we have our coolant, so you want to make sure that that bulb is red and always full. We have our oil engine fill here and our oil engine dipstick here. Here's our hydraulic oil for our steering, power steering. And we have our transmission fluid. You can also check that right here. Or you can check that at the dash, and it's actually a little bit more accurate there. We have our engine block heater. So if you're a little too far north, you need to plug this in, and then you can start that, warm that engine up. This is our air filter minder, and this is our air filter. So this works just like your vacuum does at home. When my vacuum's clogged, I'm not getting very good suction. If this is clogged, you're not going to get very good suction. If this is up to here, that means that your air filter is full or clogged, and you're not going to get very good airflow. So you need to make sure you change that. Bring that to us at National Indoor RV Centers and we'll take care of you. Here's your hydraulic filter, and this is the device for the white noise or the swishing sound that Entegra has when you back up your coach. I have a lot of customers that don't like that. When they're coming to a campground at night, they want to disable it. So Spartan has given you a little disconnect right here. Now it is for your safety and for those around you to have that backup sound. But if you want to disable it, you can do that here. Cummins recommends that you change your oil once a year or every 15,000 miles. The concern is that you'll get condensation built up in your engine. The Anthem comes with a 15,000 pound towing capacity. So what does that mean to you? That means that you can take your Chevy Suburban and your Jeep and tow them on a stacker trailer, and you're not going to feel them behind you. We also have the connections for our tow vehicle here for the lights, and the Spartan chassis on the Anthem comes standard with the safe haul feature. So you've got your airline right there for your tow vehicle. And remember, at National Indoor RV Centers, we can set up your whole tow vehicle. Here is the third of our 4 cameras, which contributes to our 360 view inside the coach. So the Anthem comes with a side radiator. This is a big deal for a couple of reasons. First of all, these fins are designed to kind of suck in the air. So they bring in the ambient air, which is going to be cooler than the air that's coming off the engine. So it's going to be easier to cool your fan. Then we also have, it's just obviously a lot easier to service. As I showed you in the back by the engine compartment, everything's very accessible because it's right there. So those are 2 bonuses to a side radiator. Another thing that you ought to think about is just maintaining this. So every once in a while, you can see that if you can just take your water hose, put your thumb over, and then just gently rinse off the radiator, it's going to work better for you. So here we have our DEF tank for the driver's side of the coach. We have that on both sides so you can fill it either place, which is nice. And our first of the 3 for this side of the coach, blind spot monitoring sensors. So you need 3 for a 45-foot coach. Here's our second blind spot monitor. I pointed out the first sensor. Here's our second sensor. So this one is actually shooting outwards and to the back of the coach. This one's shooting out and to the front of the coach, and then we'll have our third one in the top. So that's how it covers the whole side of the coach. You're also going to see this when I'm doing the test drive. You're actually going to be able to see the triangle blinking light in the side mirror and on the dash. Docking lights and our marker lights, remember that those blink, so that's another safety feature that they've added for 2020. And then here we have our little compartment for our Stinky Slinky. So it's got its own little home here. All right, on to our wet bay. So I like how nice and clean this all looks. Everything's nicely labeled. Here we have our filter. We have our freshwater hose, and that's on an auto retract. We have our sewer rinse and our freshwater connection here. Now, if we're in the park and we want to fill the freshwater tank, we'll have it this way. Once we're hooked up to city water, we can turn it that way. This is a light for the wet bay, our macerator on and off button. This is our wastewater holding tank T-bar and our sewage holding tank T-bar. Then I love that Entegra gives you the place for your paper towels, your disinfectant, or your soap so you can clean up after all the dirty work. And here we've got our panel that's going to tell us the levels of our fresh tanks at 85%, empty on gray, empty on black, cargo light, and we can turn the water pump on here as well. Here we have our water filter, and then we have our little shower hose, which has a nice strong sprayer on it, which is great, so you can actually get cleaned up. And we have the tool so that we can change the water filter. Now behind this panel, you can see we have our Thetford Sanacon macerator. We can also do a gravity dump here if we connect from underneath the coach, and there's a T-valve if we need to do if you're old school and want to do the gravity dump. This is the water filter for basically for your refrigerator, anything that comes out of the ice maker or the water spigot on the front of your refrigerator. If we are not lucky enough to have you as one of our storage customers at National Indoor RV Centers, then you may need to winterize your coach depending on where you store it. So if you need to do that, this is the hose that you'll use. You just put that into the antifreeze, bucket and turn the spigot here. And they also have directions for you to do right here on your water filter. I get asked this question a lot. What is this exhaust pipe for? This is for your diesel aqua hot. And you note they always put these exhaust pipes for your aqua hot and your generator on the driver's side of the coach, so that if you're out enjoying your the campground on the passenger side, you don't smell these fumes. All right, here we have our 50 amp shore power cord, and we're going to have just a little electrical lesson here because I get asked this all the time. The round prong is your ground. This is your neutral. Then you've got leg 1 with 50 amps and leg 2 with 50 amps. So 50 plus 50 is 100. You have 100 amps power coming into the coach when you're plugged into shore power or with your generator on. Now we've got a nice little retract button here that we just push. That's a huge feature. I love that. And then we have our SureGuard RV power protection transfer switch. This is for the house. Now, I also suggest that you have one for the pole as well. If for some reason you've plugged into the pole and you're not getting power into the house, if the power's not good at the pole, it won't let it come into the house. It will protect you. So more often than not, the problem's at the pole, not here, not with the house. Then we've got our AquaHot reader. So this is new for 2020. It will let you go faults, diagnostics, tests, and it will just give you a general status reading of the system. You can also get this information from your Vega Touch. Then we have our 450 diesel AquaHot. This is for your on-demand hot water and your furnace once you go below 40 degrees. Now, we have our fuel filter for our AquaHot here, and there's a nozzle in here. Both of those need to be serviced once a year. So you can bring them to National Indoor RV Centers and we can take care of you. These are also for service to put water in or take water out of the system. And then here's your boiler antifreeze. You want to keep that somewhere between the hot and the cold. So in the middle is perfect. Here we have a pass-through compartment. We don't have the tray, but that gives us a little bit of extra height. We've got our premium starter kit right there, and we have our filter for our Dirt Devil vacuum system. When you buy a new coach from us at National Indoor RV Centers, we include the premium starter kit with your delivery. Here we have our pass-through tray. So again, that's going to pull out. Makes it really easy to get to all your storage items. And another nice big storage compartment on the driver's side of the coach. Here's our fuel fill for the driver's side of the coach. Again, they've raised it in an attempt to get a better fuel flow to the tank. We have another docking light here. Here is your exhaust for your generator, and on the Anthem you get a 12,500 watt generator. Then we have our power distribution center, or our fuse panel for the chassis for the front half of the coach. Fuse panel for the coach inside. We've got our connects here so that we can charge our batteries here if we need to. So as long as you have your ignition on and you're aired up, you can just press this generator slide extend, and it's going to come right out. Our blind spot monitor for the front of the coach, so it's going to come out, detect here, and then to the middle of the coach. And our marker light, and our beautiful generator. Here we go. All right, so here's the breaker switch on the generator. If you've got the generator on and you're not getting any power in your coach, you may have tripped this breaker, so you're gonna have to pull over and just check this, make sure that's on. Also gives you your generator hours here. This is the Onan 12,500 watt generator, our windshield wiper fluid, and I'll have our little wussy horn right there. We have our condenser fan for our front AC, and we have our air horns. And there's a push button to retract it as well. I'm sure you're excited to see the inside of this fabulous coach. Let's go take a look. Another factor that leads to Entegra's reputation for the quietest riding, best handling coach on the market today, period, are these air door locks. So when I release the parking brake, this is gonna pop up and it like sucks the door and seals it nice and tight. If you're watching from outside, you have to look really closely, but you can actually see when it's released that the door comes out a little bit. So watch what happens when I release the parking brake. All right, as I come into the Anthem, I just want to go over this panel of buttons here. First of all, I love that we have the main power disconnect right when you walk into the coach, so it's really easy to turn on when you get back to your coach, or when you leave, you can easily turn that off. Then we have the step power. So that's for your steps. Once you're camping, you don't want those steps going in and out every time you open your door, so you can just hit that button and they'll stay out. Then we have our step light, so we turn that on. That lights up our stairwell, so make sure we don't trip and get in here safely. Then we have our master lights and our cargo lock button. We also have our master shades, night shades, and our master day shades. We have our awning light and our security light, our entry awning that we can put out here, and our entry ceiling lights that we can turn those on and off. Our cargo slide out lights, so that's underneath the slide outs are lit up, and then we can turn on our porch light, and that illuminates our handbar here as well. I also want to point out the nice grab handles as you come into the coach. So these are great as you're going in or out to keep you safe. Behind this cabinet, we have our solar panel monitor. So you can see that our house batteries are at 13.6 amps. Chassis batteries are at 12.83. The temperature of the batteries is 69 degrees. And we have no solar amps coming into the coach right now because we're inside the building at National Indoor RV Centers. This is your AC overrides. So this is in case your Vega Touch ever fails, you can still have air conditioning. Super important. So when your Vega Touch is working, you want to make sure these are off. This will override the thermostat. So when you have these on, they're going to run constantly. Then we have another area that we can extend and retract our slides. So our kitchen slide, super slide, vanity, and bed slide. This is our over-the-air antenna. So if I hit this on, it's going to search, and then it will lock onto so many stations. We're inside the building, so we're not going to lock onto as many as if we were outside, obviously. And then we have our Gen start and stop button here. Here we have a lot of storage, nice and deep. Again, this is carpeted, just like the automotive industry would do that. Then we have our 32-inch Samsung LED TV. Another big, deep storage area here with two 110 outlets in there. And then we get to our power control center of the coach. So right here we have our main leg 1 and main leg 2. Everything that is red will run off of leg 1, which is 50 amps of service. Everything in blue will run off the leg 2, which is another 50 amps of service. So we have 100 amps of service coming into the coach. Then it's going to go down into the inverters and pass through and power everything in this box. Everything in blue and everything in red. Now I'm in the comfy co-captain's chair. So the captain and co-captain's chairs have been redesigned. They kind of cradle you. They're very cozy, and we have a lot of nice features on these as well. So this chair is heated. This button reclines back of the chair. Then we have lumbar support, which we can adjust. And then my favorite of all, of course, is the footrest. So you can get nice and comfy, ready for a great trip. Then you can bring down your armrests. You have finger controls in there to adjust those armrests. The seat belt is integrated into the seat, so it's not up here, on your wood. It's nice. It's right there in the seat. And then over here to the right, I have 3 controls. These are going to control my day shades only. So my front day shade, my door day shade, and then my passenger window day shade. Now, so that I don't accidentally fall into the stairwell here, I'm going to go ahead and extend the step cover. So that I'm safe during travel if I decide to get up and go make something in the kitchen. Then I've got 2 USB chargers, my drink holder, little spot for my cell phone, and then back behind here I have another 110 outlet. To the right of my chair, there's a handle that once I pull that up, I can turn my chair around. So once I'm camping, I want to make this my recliner for my living room. As all of you know, I love to show the beautiful interior. So this is all new for 2020. We have the villa furniture in here. We have the high gloss Tuscan cherry wood, which I think is just really elegant. And then they've improved the lighting. We have a new ceiling detail with accent lighting in here as well. This is the W floor plan. So we have the theater seating across from the sofa, which will have a hide-a-bed in it. Theater seating is really nice, very comfortable. This has been very, very popular. So it's powered. So it reclines both at the footrest and almost vertical. So this is really comfortable. Now I'm ready to take my nap. And in the center of the control for the recline, you can charge your USB device here. Then we've got 2 drink holders in the middle of our console here. This lifts up and we've got a great storage. So it goes all the way to the floor, nice and deep, and then they give us a little tray which we can take out or move back and forth so we can optimize our storage there. And we have great storage behind the sofa as well. So nice and deep. Again, it's carpeted. And with these recessed lights, they don't interfere with us getting into the cabinets at all. More storage. Again, they changed the light above the dinette. That was a huge, huge bonus because now we're not hitting that. And we can get into our storage areas. This is the booth dinette. We could have the table and chairs as well. This is going to extend. It just has a little lock on it. And pull out to give us a little extra extension. The booths are really comfortable as well. I view them as almost another little lounge chair because they're really comfortable to sit, watch TV, visit with your guest. Here we have our hide-a-bed sofa. It's very nice and comfortable. And then we have great storage with adjustable shelves here. That's always nice. And our AV cabinet. So we have our matrix box that's been moved to where it's very accessible. So you can choose if you want to go to DVD, SAT, Excite, or auxiliary. You can also plug in like an Xbox to the HDMI input right back there and put that right on this TV. And then if you want, you can select and put it on all 4 TVs if you want it as well. Your Blu-ray player, we have our Bose soundbar and our 50-inch Samsung 4K smart TV. That's on a TV lift. So if we want to see the beautiful scenery outside, just hit the button. TV's gone and you can bring a little nature indoors. More storage. Again, adjustable shelf. And then we have our Winegard Travelers box. So this year standard on the Anthem, you now get the Winegard Travelers satellite for DirecTV. That comes standard. An option now is you can get the Winegard in motion. I want to make sure you notice the beautiful porcelain tile floors in the Anthem. I just think they're gorgeous. And they're heated. That's another standard in the Anthem. Standard feature. So I get asked all the time, how do you, what ways can you heat this coach? So there's 3 ways. You're going to have heat from your AC units, the heat pumps. But once you get past 40 degrees, you really need to turn on your diesel aqua hot, and that's going to be your furnace. And then you also have your in-floor heat. So you can actually just turn on the in-floor heat. Once that gets up to the temperature you like, that will almost heat the coach, and just turn on your fans and circulate the air. You're going to be very comfortable. I wanted to show you the hide-a-bed when it was all laid out. So you can easily get 2 full-size adults on this bed, plus you've got the master bed, so this coach easily sleeps 4 people. If you needed to sleep anymore, you could throw another air mattress right down the center of your coach right here. Now to show off all the features in this gorgeous kitchen in the Anthem. First of all, we have the pull-out countertop. So that gives you a little extra solid surface countertop to work on. And you have your full extension drawers. I also love that Entegra gives you this little cutting board here. So you can just take that out, or you can just use it, keep it there in your drawer. Lots of storage. This is nice, deep, tall storage here. Love the handles, residential style pulls on your cabinets. Then we've got the trays so that we can get to the very, very back of our cabinets. I love that. We have the Whirlpool convection microwave oven. So that works great. I have a customer. I walked into her coach the other day. She had this beautiful loaf of bread, and I was like, you made that in your convection microwave oven? She's like, yeah, she cooks a loaf every day. It was beautiful. So don't be afraid to try to cook the things that you cook at home in your regular oven in your convection oven. Now, look at this beautiful counter space that we have here. This is our cover for our induction cooktop. I love that Entegra does this. Not only does it protect the cooktop, but gives you more prep area if you need it. And then if you are ready to use your stove top, they've given us a place where this just nicely tucks away. And now we can cook on our induction cooktop. We have this nice big stainless steel sink with sink covers. So what are we going to do with these while we're traveling? Well, Entegra always thinks of everything, and they give us a spot to keep those. So that is going to keep those from rattling around while we're going down the road. Contributes to the quietest riding, best handling coach on the market today, period. And I love that we have a spot for our garbage. Deep storage there as well. I love this drawer. Gives you lots of room for different utensils. You can section it off, but it's just a nice big drawer here. And then standard in the 2020 is the dishwasher. So again, nice big dishwasher, bigger than you expect, I think, in an RV. I really like that. And then I love that they give us the utensil drawer. With this, it slides back and forth, gives us a little extra space. Also want to point out the 110 outlets in the kitchen because those are super important. So we have one here on the wall, just below our spice cabinet, which I'll show you in a minute. We have another 110 outlet here, just above the sink, and another one over here in the corner. So plenty of outlets for your coffee pots, blenders, juicer, whatever you need. Here we have the spice cabinet. I love this feature because it's just one of those comforts of home. It's all right there and very accessible. We have our Whirlpool residential refrigerator. I love that we have the water and ice right here in the door, so we don't have to get in there if that's all we need. And look how big this is. I think this is bigger than my refrigerator in my home. So nice big freezer as well with the trays. And one of the features that I really like on the refrigerator and the freezer is that it's very simple to just lock. So we've got a little button right here. I just flip that down, locks the refrigerator, and there's one right to the side for the freezer. Now, while I'm traveling down the road, those can't pop open if I have to turn quick and spill all the contents out on my beautiful floor. 44W comes with a great size pantry. Look at all that space. I love that the shelves are adjustable, so I can put my Instapot in there, my crock pot, my big cereal boxes, or I can make smaller shelves. I just like that I have the option to change it up. All right, so here we've got our CO2 detector and our dustpan. So you're wondering how to keep these nice, pretty porcelain floors clean. Just merely sweep everything over here. Hit it with your foot. And it's gonna suck it all away. We also have the central vac, which is in the center of the coach. We put it in the center of the coach, so our 25-foot hose will reach all the way to the front of the coach and all the way back to our closet. Now you may also notice these little devices here and one here. These are thermistors, so they communicate with the thermostat to keep the temperature at the climate we've set it. Here's our Vega touch screen. It's in the kind of sleep mode right now. I'm gonna go over this in more detail in just a minute. Heading into our half bath, I just want you to notice the beautiful panel doors, so they don't skip anything in the details here. Everything's really nice. Then we come into the half bath, and Entegra does a nice half bath. I think it's bigger than most other manufacturers' half baths. One of the new features that they've added in the 44W plan this year is this cabinet behind the toilet. I think that's a great place for toilet paper. And then we've got a cabinet here that's nice and deep. One here. And we've got our little flip drawer there. So quite a bit of storage below. Then we have the beautiful solid surface countertops with the integrated sink, residential faucets, really cool faucets this year in the half bath. And then we've got our control panel and medicine cabinet. So lots of storage up top. And I don't want to miss these as well. Also note the Max fan there, and it's all finished out in wood, so it looks really nice. Heading into the gorgeous master bedroom of the 44W Anthem, notice that we have a king size bed with a sleep number mattress, so you can customize that for both sleepers. They can be very comfortable. Notice the beautiful headboard that they've done this year, and we've got the touch button reading lights again, so we can make that a night light or a reading light, and that's directional. We also have the control for our ceiling fan, and under here we have our bedroom ceiling lights, overhead bed lights, our bedroom accent lights, bedroom vanity lights, our courtesy lights, our panel lights. So obviously you don't want this panel on shining into your eyes when you're trying to sleep, so you can hit those panel lights so they're all off. Our day and night master shade buttons, our entry lock, and our master lock. So I love that you have you can lock the coach from here, lock or unlock. Just, you know, it seems like I always drive away from the house and wonder if I shut the garage door. It's the same thing, you know, get into bed, did I lock the front door? You can double check yourself here. And remember my little key about the fob. Keep that with you. You can lock your door from the fob, and you can also turn on those docking lights if you hear something strange outside. Now I do love the storage. It's straight across, so it's nice and deep. Really can put a lot of things up here. I'm picturing shoe bins. Again, I love that the handles that they've gone to, they're just nice and sleek. Very beautiful. Our king size bed lifts up, and we have really nice storage under there. And while we're at it, note that we have a nightstand on both sides of our bed with 110 outlet and USB outlets. All right, here we have our Samsung 32-inch LED TV and the Bose soundbar underneath it. And behind it, we have our safe and our DVD player in a little extra storage room. Then we have 3 nice deep drawers here. 4 drawers over here. And then 2 cabinets up top for a nice amount of storage. Then over here on the wood wall paneling here, everyone asks me what this little round circle is for. This is our glass break sensor. So if we've set the alarm, someone's trying to break in through the glass at the front door, there's another sensor. This is going to sound the alarm. I love the master bathroom closet. So not only do you have beautiful mirror detail and then woodwork, when you open it up, there is a motion sensor. So as soon as I put my hand in, lights turn on. There's also lighting across the rod for you to hang your clothes on. It's got the cedar lined closet, carpet at the bottom, then we have shelves all the way across the top, and a little shoe storage here in the back. So I really, really like that. Behind these doors, we have the Whirlpool washer and dryer. Now, if you ever come into your coach and there's a horrible smell, it smells like maybe something died in here or the sewer, it's probably, nothing's wrong with your coach. It's probably that the water has evaporated from your P-trap from your washing machine here. So all you need to do is get a gallon of water, put it into your washing machine, put it through the rinse cycle, it will fill up that P-trap again, and the awful smell will be gone. Now moving over into the beautiful vanity, solid surface vanity. Really pretty sink, and again, I love the residential faucets. I think they're pretty cool, and I love the backsplash that Entegra has added to the Anthem. And another bonus is behind these beautiful mirrors, we have a medicine cabinet. Look at all that space. Before we just had mirrors, now we have tons of storage, which I just love. And then storage below as well. Little flips drawers here. Nice full extension drawer here. Look at all that space. And then we have a row of 4 drawers here. The Anthem comes with a really nice shower. First of all, we have these doors that open. There's a magnet that runs along both sides of the door, so you have a really nice seal when you're inside. You're not going to have water coming out onto your floor. Then as you step inside, you've got the optional seat, so you can sit there to shave your legs, ladies, or if you don't want that, just fold it right back up. You've got the shower head plus the handheld. I really like when you have both options. And again, I have tons of space. So my hand's not touching the skylight, and I've got heels on. Just to show you how roomy this is in here. And stepping out, we've got our porcelain toilet with push button controls, shade behind her, and a little bit more storage up top. I wanted to show you what the 44W floor pan looks like when the slides are closed in. So you can see that I can easily get into my pantry, anything I need there, get into the bathroom, my Vega touchpad, my refrigerator, lots of room in the kitchen here, so I could be cooking, got the crock pot going or the Instapot going, making sandwiches, tons of space here, and then I can lay out on the couch as we travel down the road. All right, so now we're going to go over the Vega Touch. There's lots of great information, and we can do a lot of functions for the coach right from this screen, and we can download it onto an app as well. But right now we're at the home screen, so it's going to tell us the time of day, the date. It's going to give us an error, seeing that we have a voltage error, low voltage. This is our interior light and our exterior lights, and then you can actually set them just like you would your radio or your seat in your luxury car. So say I want to have like a theater mode, I can set those lights, and so I can just go to setting 2, that's my theater mode. Day shades, night shades, away and stow. Then I've got temperatures for the bedroom, kitchen, living room, bay, and our exterior temperature. Our AC source is an inverter, so you can see that we don't have any amps coming in from our leg 1 or leg 2. Our chassis doesn't have any volts right now, and our house has 11.8. This is our auto gen start, and that's where I can customize those settings there. This shows that the inverter is on, and we can start and stop the generator from here, and it also shows that we have 0.9 hours on our generator. This will give us the levels of our tank, so fresh, gray, and black. We can turn on our water pump from here, and our engine preheat from here. This would be our diesel heat, and this is our electric heat. Now remember, down here in the corner, if you ever can't remember how to use one of these buttons, hit the question mark, and it will give me, it will give me the help and answer my question. And just close it and go back to that. Hit it again to take away the question marks, and we can move to the next screen. Okay, this is our auto gen start, and if we press that, we can please confirm operation. Would you like to enable the auto gen start? So we can say start or cancel, so we're going to start that. If I press and hold, then this takes me to the page where I can actually adjust my settings. So we can have it start based off of a volt base start or a climate start, and we can set our quiet time. So we can customize those settings all on this page. All right, let's go to our lights. So all of this stays the same. Right now we're in basic mode. So if I want to just turn off the living room, I just touch and hold there. And I can turn off all those lights. And it actually goes dark on the screen. I can turn them back on. Now if I want to go to, say I want to control just an individual light, and go to control mode. Now I can turn off an individual light. So, or if I want to adjust the brightness, I can just hold the button and bring it to whatever brightness I'd like. So now if I've adjusted the brightness, but I want to take it all back to full light, I just hold the master light button here and it will go back to full light. All right, now we want to go to our shades. So this is just like the lights. Basically, we're in the basic mode. If we want to do the shades for just the living area, then we can just hit that right there. Now it's going to ask me, do we want to do the day shades, all the day shades, or the night shades? And I can select it that way. Or I can go to control mode, and I can just do that one individual shade. I can put the day shade down or up, or the night shade down or up. So it's pretty basic, pretty easy. So now we're going to go to the house. So this is actually our exterior lights and our slide and awning mechanism. So right now we can turn off the lights, and we can see what their brightness is. That's cargo lights. Cargo lights, or the underslide. This is up here, the awning lights. Now this is so we can extend or retract the slide. So we're going to have that warning. I'm going to close that. Now you can see that I can extend or retract all the slides and the awnings. So the door awnings, the first Girard awning, second Girard awning. All right, so let's go to climate. You can see right now that we have the bedrooms at 75, kitchen 76, living room 78, and the bay is at 69. Right now we've got the AC on in the bedroom and the heat on in the living room. And right now, if the heat goes below 78 degrees, then our aqua hot's going to turn on. We could switch that and make that the heat pump, take the aqua hot off. We can set that however we want. And we can also synchronize all these together. So right now, cool, heat, heat. If I just hit this button here, it's going to synchronize everything to how I have it set for the living room. We can also turn the heat, the floor heat on and off here. And then we can go to our kitchen and bathroom. So we've got these little fans. If I want to turn the fan on in the stool room, I can do that right from here. If I hold the button down, then now I can actually adjust those settings so that if it goes above 77 degrees in the coach, it will turn on, it will go to high, or I can change that to medium. And I can actually set a timer on that as well. We also have diesel heat and electric heat. So we can select either or both of those. You can also schedule your thermostat. So just like you have at home, if you want the AC to come on at a certain time of day and go off at a certain time of day, you can schedule your RV like that the same way you do at your home. All right, so this goes to all of our TVs. So say we want to turn on the TV in our living room. We can select what we want to watch. And say we want to go to the Blu-ray player, and it's going to load from the Blu-ray player and start playing on the TV. It will actually change the setting in your matrix box at the same time for you. All right, another thing that you can do from here is go to theater mode. So if I hit on, it's going to run down all the night shades in the living room area and dim the lights. So this is kind of a master shut off or control panel for some things that you use all the time. So your AV off, your fans, your locks, your cargo locks. and we can edit this as well. So if I want to edit my home page, if I want to add something here that I use a lot, I'd go back to that page, say that I want to add the entry locks there. So I'm going to edit my home. I'm going to select entry locks. Now when I go to my home page, I've got the entry locks there. If I decide I want to change that again, go back to that page, reset home, and it's gone. So if you want to add anything to this screen, you can do it easily by just doing the Add Edit button, and you can scroll. Say I want to add bath ceiling, save and close, and there it is. Now, if I want to add that to my home screen, I can say Edit Home, bath ceiling, go to my home, there it is. So very easy to customize. All right, go to the settings page here. So let's go to display. This is where you can adjust the brightness of your screen, or you can mute the sound. So if you want to mute it here, you can make it louder or softer, and you can also do hours that you want it to not make any sounds at all. Software, this just tells you the current version of your Vega Touch. This is where you can check for updates, diagnostic check, and do not ever restart your screen unless you are told to do that by a Firefly or Entegra Coach employee. So sleep, this is going to show after 5 minutes of inactivity, the screen will go back to sleep mode, which sleep mode is right there. This is the information that you're getting when you're in sleep mode. So after 5 minutes, it will go to that sleep mode. This is the information you're getting, the clock, date, day, temps, and then you can also select sleep time. And then on your climate button, this is the information you're seeing at the top of the screen: living room, kitchen, bedroom, bay. User, if you want to change the background color of your Vega Touch, you can select these, change the color, and then you have 15 seconds to select it. Images, this is where you download images if you want to put pictures of the kids or your pets up here rather than the sleep screen. And pairing, this is where you can take your cell phone, you can scan this QR code, and it will download to your phone. You'll be able to do all these functions that we do on the Vega Touch from your cell phone. And again, if you have any questions, remember you can always go to the little question mark and get those answered. I want to go over all the buttons on the left-hand side of the driver's seat here. So we're going to start with our pet safe main power switch off. So you can cover that in case a pet or a child puts their little paw over here and kills your power. You don't want that to happen, so you can cover that. Then we've got our tag dump auto, off and hold. So basically you're just going to always keep your tag on auto. The only time you'd ever take it out is say you were stuck in mud and you needed to get more traction. You might release it then, but otherwise just keep it in auto. Then you've got your auxiliary brake. You've got the off, low, and high. So I always like to keep that on, at least on low. Gives me a little extra power when I go to brake. Then our battery boost button. This is super important. So this is what brings your house and your chassis battery together to give you some extra power. So when you might need this is good example. I was just at the Perry FMCA show this last week. I took some customers out to the test drive coaches and one of them was dead. So I got in the coach, I pressed the battery boost button, held that down for a minute, then I was able to start the generator, let that run for a couple minutes, and then I was able to start the engine. So that comes in really handy. Then we've got these 5 buttons across the dash here. Those are all for day shade controls. So we have the driver side control, the front driver side, front passenger side, door, and then passenger's side window day shade. All right, before we go over this whole panel here, I'm going to adjust the steering column so that I can see it on my dash when I'm pointing to the buttons over here for you. So there's new hand controls on the steering column. So over here on the left hand side, I've got the tilt button. On the right hand side, I've got the telescoping button and also a pedal control. But now that I have that adjusted and in place, I can see the buttons that I'm now going to demonstrate for you. So we have our mirror defrost. When I push that, the light illuminates right here on the dash, and that's for your flat mirrors, not your convex mirrors. Then we have our air horn. Of course, if I'm coming down the road and I need to have someone get out of my way, I want the air horn on. I want to get their attention. Then we have our auto traction control button. So that is just something that it's always in auto. Just keep it that way. It's just like it is on your car. So the only time, again, that you may take that off is if you were stuck in mud or something, need a little extra spinning traction on your tires. Then we have our easy steer. So that's a new feature for 2020 in the Anthem. This is a game changer. So easy steer just gives you basically a computer aided driving assist as you're going down the road. So if you have a strong 30 per mile hour wind pushing against the coach, the computer is going to detect that and then adjust for you. So you should never be fighting the steering wheel. Also, if there's a camber to the road, it's going to feel that, adjust for it. Now you can easily turn the control that the Easy Steer has up and down. So you can see as I turn to the right, it's going to be a little bit stiffer at the steering column, and I'm doing more of the work. As I turn it down to the left, it's going to be a little bit easier to steer the steering wheel, and it's doing more of the work. All right, then we've got the adjuster for our external mirrors right here, so we can go left, right, and adjust those as needed. We've got our backlit cup holder for our drink. Okay, we've got 2 USB outlets here. Now we're going to go to the pages button. For me to be able to show you this, I'm going to have the ignition on and release the park brake. Now I'm going to scroll through the dial here and all of the options and things I can do with this. So I'm on easy steer right now, but I'm just going to turn it once to the right, and I'm on my suspension and leveling. So I'm going to press for more options. I'm going to go to more. So right now I can take it to auto level. This is where you can see that it's going to auto level. So these little, if the engine were on, it would auto level for me right now. If I go to manual, then you can see that I can manually adjust this suspension. Front left, front right, rear right, etc. Now, I might want to do this when I'm emptying my tanks so that I get a better angle for them to drain out. I may want to go to my right, select that, and you'll see that my front right and my rear right are illuminated. And then I can go over to raise. I want to raise them, and they will raise the front and rear right, so I'll have a better angle when I'm dumping my tanks. Now I'm going to turn the dial one more time. That's my accelerator position. I'm going to push that down. I can scroll to select, and you can see all the different information. Accelerator position, engine load, oil engine temp, PSI boost, engine torque, exhaust temp. So a lot of information there. Now I'm at messages. Let's say that I turned on the coach with the coach plugged in. It would give me a message there that I had shore power so that I would know to go and unplug before we did anything else. Adaptive cruise control. So we're going to press that, and I can change the distance to a shorter, medium distance, or longer distance, and then I can disable that as well right from here. Here we have our odometer in trip 2. We have 190 miles left in our fuel tank, and we're at 5.3 miles per gallon. So here's trip 2 information. If I push the button down, I'll go to trip 1 information, and then if I turn the dial again, I'll get my PSI of my tires. If I press that down, then I'll get the temperature of my tires. All right, now I can see all the tire pressure and the temperature of each tire. Then I'm going to go to towable connected. I'm going to put yes, and then I'm going to, and you see the little tow vehicle show up on the screen. Now I'm going to go to tow type. So 2 wheels, I'm going to push that again. 4 wheels, 6 wheels, or we'll go back to your car. Sound volume. So I can adjust the sound volume on all the different knobs. So if I put on my blinker, I can turn that volume up or down and save it. Units is where I can change everything to metric. Service reminder, and we don't really do that. You just know that you need to have your engine serviced once a year or every 15,000 miles. Screen position. So I like this because if you're shorter or taller, you may want to adjust where that screen is on the monitor. So I like it to be a little bit higher. So I'm going to save that. Diagnostics, this is for your technicians. Configuration, we're not going to work with that at all. And then we're just going to go back. Okay, we have our marker lights and our headlights, our fog lights, our accent lights, or those are commonly referred to as the show-off lights, the C lights, our docking lights, and then our map lights. So we have our equalizer system. So if we want to put the jacks down, we're just going to make sure the engine is off, hit the power button, and hit auto level. You can hear it releasing there. Once the beeping stops and all 4 are red, solid red, we will be level. All right, solid red lights on all 4 corners and the beeping's gone away. We are level. If we were now ready to leave the campground, I would just push all retract and it would lift the jacks back up. Here on the steering column, we have our headlights, and we can just have those on, or we can flash those. Now those come in handy if we have an 18-wheeler that's passed us. We want to let him know that it's safe to come back into our lane. So we just flash those one time and he can come back into his lane, and he should flash his lights back at us 3 times just to say thank you. So we can do that in reverse as well. If we pass a 16-wheeler, he lets us know that we can safely come back into the lane. Then we would flash our courtesy lights here 3 times to say thank you. So over here we have our cruise control. So we just turn that on here. Now we can also use this for a high idle mode. So if I'm getting ready to leave in the morning and I'm in a hurry, which happens all the time, I would come in over here, hit the on button on my cruise control. I can hit the set or the resume button, and then it will go into a high idle mode, and that will air up the tanks faster. Now, so when I'm driving and using cruise, I just get to the speed I want to be at, just like your car. Set it. If you slow down, you can resume, or you can cancel it all right there. Over here, we've got our windshield wiper control. So I just can hit them, turn them on. If I want to set a unique intermittent time that I want them to run, I can hit this one time, count 1 1000, 2 1000, hit it again, 1 1000, 2 1000, and they'll go at that interval. I can turn those off, and I've also got my windshield wiper fluid here. Here's our Allison transmission. So we have our reverse, neutral, and drive. We have the select button, which tells us what gear our coach can go up to. And the monitor will tell us what gear we're actually in. The mode is going to put us in economy mode. I always drive in economy mode. If I can save a little fuel, I will. And then if we push the up and down arrows at the same time, we'll get information about our transmission like I told you about at the back of the coach. So you're going to go ahead and push the plus and the minus arrows together. And it's going to let me know that my trans oil is 1 quart too high. So this is where I would want to take my coach to National Indoor RV Centers and have a technician drain 1 quart of oil from the transmission. The oil life is good, 99%. Filters are okay. Trans health okay. No codes. And then back to neutral. We have the radio, and in the cockpit area we have the JBL sound system with 11 speakers. Entegra actually has the technician come from JBL, and they calibrate and fine-tune the system for optimal sound. Media center, XM radio, Bluetooth, HDMI, camera. Now this is one that I want to spend a little time on. So the camera is a big deal in the 2020 Anthem because now we have our 360 camera. So I just touch the screen and I'm going to get all my options here. So I can see camera to my left, to my right, behind me, in front of me, down both sides, left, right, and in front of me, or wait, behind me. All 4 sides, so front, rear, side to side, or my favorite view, which is the bird's eye view. So I can see everything that's all around my coach. So when I'm going down the road, I can see what is behind me. That's going to be my big camera here. And then to the side, I can see everything that's around me. So I really like that new feature, all new for 2020. Now when I'm in the rear mode, I can also see different hitch views. So I could just select those and see what I'd like to see. And you have iPod, then your Rand McNally system. You can put that here, you can put it on your dash. Here are air controls for the dash air, so I can pick where I want that air to come out. Got the cold and the hot, and our fan speed, our HDMI input, and our USB, and our 12 volt. And we have our 2 backlit with the red pretty lighting, cup holders, little spot here where I can keep my keys, and another spot here, a nice strong drawer where I can keep items as well. And just around the corner, I have my 110 outlet. All right, before we head out on our test drive, just one thing I want to cover. When you're driving the Class A diesel, you need to think about where your turning point is. So if we were standing outside the coach, I tell you to visualize a line straight up from the center of the front axle, which is going to be behind the passenger seat and behind my seat. So I don't want to start that turn until the center of my front axle is at the turn. So that's different than when you're in the car, your tires in front of you, you turn when your tires are there. We do the same thing here, we just have to remember they're behind us. So think about that. Always hug the left part of the lane that you're in, and I'll talk about that more as we drive. So when you're first driving a Class A diesel, don't be afraid. I mean, I was nervous, a little bit white knuckling the first time that I drove, but really you'll get comfortable very quick, and then you'll have to remind yourself, oh yeah, I've got 40 feet behind me. So I just enjoy this huge windshield that I have in front of me. It's a great way to see the country. Spring in Georgia, so what more could you ask for? It's beautiful here. I always tell my customers to hug the left side of the lane that they are in. That's because usually most things happen, bad things happen on the right. Like here in Georgia, you know, it's beautiful, but there's tons of trees, and those can become very expensive trees if they scratch your paint job. So you want to avoid them, street signs, road debris, broken up road, that's all going to happen on the right side of the road. So if you can just train yourself, for whatever reason, I know that I did it when I first started, I had a tendency to want to hug, you know, to just kind of stay right because I was worried about the oncoming traffic. There's really no worries with that. Okay, we're approaching our first right turn. So I'm going to get past where I think that turning point is. This is a little tricky one because we are in a roundabout. But if you're watching that back tire, it looks good. I'm getting to the curb and I can totally avoid it. All right, so I'm gonna make a left-hand turn here. I've got my blinker on so I can see down that side of my coach. And you can see it's super easy. Go right into my lane here. One of the new features for 2020, like I've told you, is the 360 camera. This is probably one of my favorites because I really like to be able to see. You can see on the 360 camera everything that's around my coach. So you get that bird's eye view, and I just think it's a great safety feature. I'm driving in the left lane. I'm thinking about wanting to change lanes. My blind spot monitoring light just showed up. So I know from the mirrors that I've got cars to the right of me. Now, turn on my blinker, and it is safe to get over. One of the questions I get from my customers a lot is when they should be using their engine brake. So typically around town, you don't want to use it or you'll get that glazing on your brake and your coach will sound like the garbage trucks. So the last thing we want to do. So a good rule of thumb is to use, if you're using your cruise control, have your engine brake on. So right now I've got mine on. If I were to take off my foot off the accelerator, I would automatically start to slow down. So I want to slow down. The car's coming in front of me. I'm going from 60, 59, 57. Still haven't touched the brake. We're at 55, 53, 52. It's going to continue to slow me down. And I don't even have to touch the brake. So just a little extra help, and I like it. I think it's a safety feature. So as you can see, it's super easy to drive this Anthem. It's so nice and so quiet. I've got the blind spot monitoring. I've got cruise control. I've got the 360 camera. Makes this as easy to drive as my car. So you just have to pay attention to everything around you. That 360 camera gives you the bird's eye view, so you don't even need to worry about that. So really, you're going to enjoy driving this. Don't be afraid of it. Give it a try. Make this beautiful country of ours your backyard, and don't delay. Give me a call today. How about that? I rhymed. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video of the 2020 Entegra Anthem Floor Plan 44W with the Tuscan cherry cabinets and the champagne interior. Now I'm sure you're wondering how much it costs for this gorgeous coach. Manufacturer's suggested retail price is $577,029 and map pricing manufacturer's advertised price is $432,772. Now if you want to find out how much I can sell you this coach for, please give me a call at National Indoor RV Centers 1-800-250-6354. If you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit the like and subscribe button.